Ingolstadt, Germany, February 1992. A small group of engineers in the Audi Motorsport department is staring at a problem. Their car weighs 320 kilograms more than the competition. The rulebook says so. Not an accident, not a design flaw, a punishment. What they came up with is now called the most famous crankshaft in German motorsport history. The DTM never forgave them for it. The Deutsche Tourenwagen Meisterschaft, Germany's premier touring car series. If you know it at all in the United States, you know it vaguely, like something you caught in a European racing documentary at 2 in the morning. What you might not know is that in the early 1990s, it was spending Formula One money. Factory teams from BMW, Mercedes, and Audi. Works drivers who had raced at the highest levels of motorsport. Budgets that had no business being attached to what were, at least on paper, street cars. Audi entered the DTM in 1990 with a car that had no right to compete. The Audi V8 Quattro road car was a luxury sedan, 4 doors, full AWD system, racing against the BMW M3 and the Mercedes 190e, both purpose-built race cars with half the weight. The other manufacturers looked at it and probably laughed. Then it won the championship. Then it won again. Hans-Joachim Stuck took the title in 1990. Frank Biela defended it in 1991. No manufacturer had ever done that in DTM history, back to back, in a car the competition thought was a joke. The DTM officials responded the way governing bodies always respond to something they cannot explain. They changed the rules. For the 1992 season, the Audi had to carry 1,300 kilograms minimum. That is 320 kilograms more than the BMW M3. 320 kilograms is roughly the weight of 4 full-grown adults bolted permanently to the roof. The officials had essentially told Audi, "Win again, and we will bury you under the weight of your own success." Here's the thing about Audi's engineering department. They do not respond well to being told they cannot win. The regulations were in French. This matters. The rules stated that the crankshaft in the race engine had to be a pièce d'origine, an original piece, from the production car. The V8 Quattro road car used a 90-degree cross-plane crankshaft. That's the standard layout for a V8. 4-cylinder banks firing in pairs, 90 degrees apart, smooth power pulses, even vibration characteristics. Every V8 you've ever heard rumbling at a stoplight is running a cross-plane crank. It's the reason a V8 sounds like a V8. Audi's engineers asked the regulators a very specific question. When you say original piece, do you mean the finished production part or the raw forging that comes out of the foundry before it's machined into its final shape? The answer came back, the raw part. So Audi took the raw crankshaft forging from the production V8 before it was machined, before it was hardened, before it was anything other than metal in approximately the right shape. And they reforged it, not into a 90-degree crossplane, into a 180-degree flat plane. The flat plane crankshaft changes everything about how a V8 engine runs. Ferrari use them in their road cars today. A flat crank V8 revs higher, responds faster, and makes more power at the top of the RPM range. The firing order changes completely, so does the exhaust scavenging, so does the sound. High-pitched, screaming, nothing like the burble of a crossplane V8. Audi gained 30 to 40 power. The engine could now spin to higher revs than the original 90-degree unit could manage. And critically, they gained it all in a way the rules technically allowed. The crankshaft had started as a pièce d'origine. They had simply reforged it while it was still raw material. The finished part was completely different from the production crank. The argument was watertight, or so they believed. There was one problem they could not hide. You could hear it. The moment an Audi fired up at the first race of the season at Zolder in Belgium, every mechanic in the paddock knew something was different. The engine note was wrong. Not wrong like broken, wrong like it had been swapped for something with completely different internal geometry, which, technically, it had.
BMW and Mercedes looked at each other. Then they looked at the rulebook. Race 2, Nuremberg, Germany, April 19, 1992. Frank Biella wins, the only Audi victory of the entire season. Before Biella can finish celebrating, the stewards pull the car for a technical inspection. The crankshaft is examined. Verdict? Legal. Everything in accordance with the rules. BMW protests immediately. The stewards reject it. They already said it was legal. BMW appeals to the ONS, the German National Sports Commission. The appeal overturns the stewards. Biella is disqualified. The win is taken away. Then at race 4 at the AVUS in Berlin, the ONS reviews the matter again and reverses course. The crankshaft is legal. Biella gets the win back. BMW appeals again. And this is where it turns ugly. Race 5, Hockenheim, May 24, 1992. Ellen Lohr, driving for Mercedes, wins the race. She becomes the first woman in DTM history to win. To this day, she is still the only one. Under normal circumstances, that is the headline for weeks. Nobody is talking about Ellen Lohr. They are all watching what is about to happen to Audi. The ONS Court of Appeals issues its final ruling. The crankshaft does not comply with the regulations. Audi is disqualified from the Nürburgring result. 6 rounds into the season, the championship is finished in all but name. Ferdinand Piech, the man who built Audi's Quattro program and would become CEO of the entire Volkswagen Group the following year, is standing in the paddock at the Nürburgring, the city of Nuremberg, Audi's home race, the race where 20,000 German fans had shown up specifically to watch Audi. Piech and Audi Sport Director Dieter Bosche withdraw all 4 cars with immediate effect. No discussion, no further legal challenge. Done. The fine for abandoning the final 10 races of the season was 4.8 million D-marks. Audi, allegedly, never paid it. Klaus Ludwig wins the championship for Mercedes. 16 victories for the Mercedes camp over the full season. The German press called it a title won on the green table, a courtroom title, not earned on track. The DTM stripped 62 points from the manufacturer's standings. BMW picked up the pieces. And Audi, rather than spend another D-mark fighting a governing body that had changed its official answer 3 times in 6 races, took their engineers and left. They did not return to the DTM for 12 years. Here's the part that still gets argued. Was Audi cheating, or were they engineering? The rules said original part. Audi used an original part, the raw forging from the production engine. No dispute there. What they did to that forging before it was finished is what 3 separate appeals bodies spent months arguing about. The ONS ruled twice that it was legal, then ruled once that it was not. The same document, the same crankshaft, 3 different verdicts. The flat-plane crankshaft Audi built in that Ingolstadt workshop in the winter of 1991 is now standard in high-performance V8s. Every screaming Ferrari road car uses a variation of it. Every modern supercar that sounds like it is trying to leave the atmosphere is running exactly what Audi was running in 1992. The DTM banned it. The rest of the automotive world adopted it. The rulebook called it illegal. The engineering textbooks called it progress. Audi called it done.